Francois. I appreciate everyone for coming out this afternoon. Today I will be covering leadership styles, which you can reference in Field Manual 6-22. The classification of this brief is unclassified. The risk assessment at this time is low. In case of a fire, we will exit out the nearest door. To my left, your right. We will take a left, go down to the field, and take accountability. In case of a tornado, we will take cover to prevent from falling debris. In the event of a mass shooter, we will lock all the doors and barricade ourselves inside until the threat is subsided. Also, due to the COVID, please ensure that the person on your left and your right are at least 6 feet away from you, or that you guys are all wearing masks. The purpose of this brief is to inform soldiers of the different styles of leadership. In 2016, I was stationed in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, where I had the opportunity to work with 2 leaders with 2 different leadership styles. The staff sergeant I fell under exhibited the transactional leadership style. While working for her, I was extremely motivated and determined to conquer the world. On the other hand, the newly promoted E5 exhibited the autocratic leadership style. Her leadership style was not conducive to my development, which made it impossible for me to progress in my career, while she exceeded tremendously. This transitions me to today's class on what is leadership. We're going to discuss what leadership is, transactional leadership, autocratic leadership, transformational leadership, delegative leadership, and servant leadership. Every Army leader should know different styles of leadership because it will influence and help them whenever they need to lead their own soldiers, because not every scenario requires the same style of leadership, and every leader has their own weaknesses and strengths with different styles. Some styles won't help them at all, but others will be very effective. So what is leadership? Leadership is the art in motivating a group of people to accomplish a common goal. According to FM 6-22, Army leadership is the process of influencing people by providing purpose, direction, and motivation while operating to accomplish a mission and improve the organization. Now, leaders have to find different ways to influence different people because not every style will suit every scenario. So transactional leadership. These leaders provide subordinates with goals, establish project checks, provide performance reports, and motivate them with rewards based on a recognized system. So this is something the Army does because we recognize those who follow orders and do well, and those who do not follow orders and do well are punished. So just like this leadership, there's rewards and punishments for doing as they're told. If you do well, you're praised and eventually you're promoted. If you don't, eventually you leave the military, unfortunately. So it is suitable for situations where there has to be immediate reaction to orders is required. So if you're in the field or deployed, this is a good type of leadership because every order needs to be followed unless it's unlawful. But all orders need to be followed quickly and effectively. So this type of leadership works in those scenarios. It does not work with free thinkers or creativity ones. It doesn't allow for those other subordinates to come up with their own solutions to problems at all. So creativity is not big with this leadership style, but it does focus on leadership, organization, and performance. Moving on. Next is autocratic leadership, which is similar. This leadership style gives leaders complete control over the decision-making process. This focus on one leader, and they have complete control over every decision. It works well in environments where you have to make decisions on life and death environments. So it works well in deployed scenarios where every order needs to be followed or somebody can get killed. So this leadership does not foster free thinking or creativity because it relies so much on following orders and getting the mission completed this one way. This can lead to resentment and distress from subordinates, but a good leader using this style will still consider their subordinates and listen to them whenever they bring good information and insights to help them complete the mission. This style of leadership, the leader is completely in control and has to take total responsibility in every decision. So if they make the wrong decision, it can get a lot of people killed. This can lead to a very stressful style of leadership and might not be suitable for long-term scenarios. Next, we have transformational leadership. This is leadership by example. It works well for a platoon sergeant and who works closely with their soldiers, because this style of leadership doesn't work well for a leader who is a distance away from their soldiers. So a commander who is away from their squad won't be able to use this style of leadership. So this leadership style does work well in a changing environment and encourages subordinates to provide solutions. So it fosters a lot of creativity and free thinking from their subordinates and their leaders, which can be very good in scenarios where the leader may not know exactly how to solve a problem, but the subordinate may feel more comfortable with coming to that leader and helping them out with a solution. This type of leader inspires their subordinates through rapid inspiration and empathy, because they lead by example and they're open with them and they give their best effort to complete the mission. So moving on to delegative leadership. This is leadership through delegation and allowing subordinates to work on their own. This works best with experienced and confident soldiers. So if the unit is made up of a bunch of new people who don't really know their subordinates very well, it won't quite work with them because they may not know their responsibilities or what they may need to do to accomplish the mission. It involves a lot of working on their own and being away from the leader. If it involves them working on their own, it won't help. If the subordinate is told to complete a mission however they may see fit and do whatever they think they need to do to complete the mission, it will work. So moving on to servant leadership. This style of leadership is based on meeting the needs of the followers. This is a style that every leader has to use in their career some way. The leader is needed. I'm sorry. If this leader prioritizes can result in a happier and more effective and productive team because the leader talks to their soldiers and helps them improve to complete the mission. It does require an amount of trust between the leader and the subordinate because the subordinate should feel comfortable enough to come to the leader to converse with them about what they can do to improve on how to get to their full potential. Alright, so every style of leadership has their strengths and weaknesses, just how every leadership style have their own strengths and weaknesses. Okay. Let's go. Every leader is different and has their strengths and weaknesses. Just how these leadership styles have their own strengths and weaknesses. None of these leader styles work in every situation. Using this knowledge to look at yourself and see what you do best is part of becoming a leader. So, I will now be accepting any questions. Alright, no questions? Well, I have a question for you. What type of leadership style do you possess? Also, is your leadership style conducive to your soldiers' development? That concludes my brief for today.